Hello, Nick.
Hello, Frank. How you doing?
Very well, thanks.
Good, good.
You're the leader of the band, but that doesn't mean you're only the singer. What are your different roles in this band?
I guess I kind of start a lot of the ideas, so I'm like one of the main songwriters. I also do a lot of the editing, producing, and mixing. Mainly on going back to the Departure album that started everything off between Andy and I as a working team. I did a lot of producing and mixing on that record, but the new one's been more of a collaboration between the different musicians in terms of the production of the record.
You are now working with Will, Andy, James. We will discover them. Do you feel comfortable with these musicians? Because some of them are new in the band.
I mean, the main difference between the new record and Departure, Departure was very much a session musician kind of mentality for the record. We had a lot of different musicians play on that album that came in and just did their parts and then left. Whereas the new record, we've spent a long time focusing on the core of the band, the four members, and really developing, parts and finding new ideas, experimenting around and bringing in, letting the music breathe as a band more, rather than as a production kind of thing. So it's much more band-driven record for me, the new one.
Is there a particular concept for this album?
Yeah, I guess the new album's really, for me, lyrically, it's about I don't want to be too cheesy about it, but it's disenchanted youth once again. It's the economic downfall of the last 4 or 5 years has really made people really evaluate their lives and the things around them a lot more differently now. So this record reflects a lot of that, a lot of, disillusionment with what's going on in the world. And it's focused towards the young people living day to day very fast with technology. But at the same time, their economic side is being pulled away from them, so it doesn't leave much of a future to dream of. So that's probably the main theme of this album is pretty much not being left with a dream.
So what is the next stage now for it?
Well, it's promote this new record and get out there and keep playing it live, keep pushing it into people's playlists, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank.
Now we're gonna discover the other members of the band. Thank you.
Excellent. I look forward to it.
Okay.
Cheers.
Bye.
We so consumed, we crave the perfume. It sends the senses running wild. Another habit overdue, made to waste, built to break. Time to have a shelf life, to expire and be replaced.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, Frank.
You're a long-time member now. You're working with Nick for more than 10 years. We just saw you playing guitar, but that's not your only role in the band, right?
No. Both Nick and I have sort of formed a very a good working relationship for making music together. I think we often find ourselves on similar wavelengths, and working with someone for a long time, you find you get to know their niche, and you sort of see what they're gonna do before they do it, right? So it's a good, healthy working relationship. We get quite a lot done. Enough, I hope.
How does it work? Does it mean that you bring the music and Nick the lyrics, or
No,
not like that?
No, it's pretty much a complete collaboration. James as well. Will also, when with the drums, we tend to have an idea of what we're doing before we go and record it properly, but it's generally a collaboration between all of us. We all put our own bit in, if you like.
You come from heavy metal background. How does it influence its music?
I guess it's got a little bit more aggressive, not in a bad way. It's not particularly angry or anything. I mean, we'd like to get a point across, but definitely more riffing, and it's nice to riff and play rock.
What's your favorite song from the new record, and why?
I've got a couple really. Hatch, mainly because it's really different to anything that we've done, myself and Nick, before. It's much harder, it's grittier and that, so it's it's a good, powerful song. You have the main, just, all the way through, you have this kind of, it's all the way through the verses, and it's almost like a pulse, isn't it? That kind of real edgy. It's not too in your face, but it's cool. The riff at the end of the song is the one that's very, very, drums, everything kicking in. And, yeah, it's good. It's good fun.
What can we wish you for the future with this band?
I think, as always, we want this album to do well. It's certainly something that we've put a lot of time and effort into, and we enjoy. It's got a lot of really good songs. There's a lot of really good songs that probably won't make it as well, which is a really nice thing.
Okay, so I wish you the best, and see you soon.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Trying to find a reason that's written in stone. A race to reach the bottom. We fill up our homes by the hands of the working man.
Hi, James.
Hiya.
You're the best player of the band, but tell me, how you joined this band?
Okay, well, I think the guys needed a bass player, and I knew Andy from having lived with him, and he invited me to the pub for a chat, which he reminded me about earlier, and then I went along for a couple of rehearsals, and I'd learned probably half the album, something like that, by 2 or 3 rehearsals. So went and did some gigs, and that was it really. And I've been playing for them the last couple of years and started writing an album over the last year or so. So that's how I've wormed my way into the band.
Do you remember what was your real first impression when you heard its music?
Yeah, I think it was, I heard Departure when they were just finally mixing it, or they'd just got the CD master, and yeah, I thought it was good. I remember hearing the double kick drum pattern and Killing Me, and thinking, wow, these guys, want to rock.
This relationship is killing me. It's killing me, and it's filling me with pain. I will not wait on the best while they just give. I will not stand by and get killed.
And then I heard when they had their bass player leave, then I thought, yeah, I'd like to do his job. His bass lines were really good on the album, so it got me into the album.
Hi, Will.
Hey Frank.
When did you pick up the drumsticks?
I started quite late actually, which you can probably maybe tell by my scruffy playing. I was 17, I think. I was playing guitar in a band and the drummer would never show up. So I started sitting behind the kit and I just sort of fell in love with it very quickly. And I think it made sense in a way because my grandfather was a military snare drummer and my father was a drummer. So it all connected and yeah, but it was about 17.
How did you get involved in it?
It was through Andy actually, and I think it was at a Christmas sort of bash on Denmark. We were both working on Denmark Street, and I was playing drums at this Christmas party, and we just got chatting over beer and that sort of thing. And yeah, then he introduced me to Nick, and I came up to Harrow and we had a jam, and yeah, that was the beginning of it, about maybe 4 years ago, maybe. So yeah, it's through Andy.
Can you talk us through a typical hit drum recording session?
Well, it can be quite variant, really. Some of the tunes on this new record, I came in pretty much blind to them. Nick wanted to sort of see what my first instincts were. Some of them, both Andy and Nick had quite strong sort of drum ideas from, and they would sort of build sketches of drum tracks for me to check out and specific fills. So it's a bit of meeting somewhere in the middle. So yeah, they could change, but it was all done pretty quickly actually, over a couple of days, just coming up here. I worked with Nick in different situations as well, so it's really easy, which is lovely. So yeah.
Now that the record is finished, you will be touring with the band.
Mm-hmm.
Do you prefer the studio or live?
Difficult one, Frank. I like the spontaneity, I guess, of live shows, that you can throw in stuff and the interaction with your bandmates, do you know what I mean? And sometimes trying to, like the interplay sometimes I have with James, rhythm section wise, is a lot of fun, you know, trying to trip each other up every now and again or throw in something which is a bit unexpected. So live is always very exciting, and also just to showcase the tunes that you've been working on. Studio-wise, I think the pressure is quite good for you, you know? When that red light's on, you got to come up with the goods. So they both offer something, but I think if I had to pick, there's something about being with your mates, playing live in front of an audience, you know, there's nothing can quite beat that, so yeah.
So that will be for soon now. Thank you, Will.
My pleasure, Frank.
Bye.
Bye-bye.